Alright, welcome back. We're gonna continue on with administrative groups. Last video we read the built-in help, but we did not actually use administrative groups on the network equipment. So this video we're gonna try to do that. So I also tried to make use of my topology here and set up a inter-AS Lsp. But there's an issue with that. Unfortunately, it's just not behaving the way I expect it to. So I think I'm gonna kind of do a different strategy and just get everything as simple as I possibly can get it, and then work from there. So this video is just going to be all hands-on, and then at the end of this video, no matter how far I get, so it gets to the last 10-15 minutes, I'll just go in and configure an administrative group, even if it doesn't do anything, and then move on to the next topic. So yeah, let's strip everything down except for the IP addressing. So we're going to go on every single router, we're going to go configure private. Then we're going to go delete. Yes, and then we'll add back just the necessary config. So everything up to here. Okay, and I'd like to go even further than that and rename them just to R1, R2, more simple naming like that. So this is P1, so let's do R1, R2, R3, so this will be R4. Okay, so most of the config that's on there, we're just going to remove, and then we're going to go back and add it later. So our topology is going to look quite a bit different. We're not going to have two different autonomous systems. We're going to have just one autonomous system because clearly I had issues setting up a inter-AS Lsp, so we won't worry about that for now. One thing I am very curious about, and I will look up right now just to make sure I've got all my tracks covered, is if inter-AS Lsps are a part of the curriculum. So let's check that. We'll go JNCIE-SP. So we'll go to the official curriculum. Yep, and then it'll be under MPLS. So, okay, so I don't see anything officially that says inter-AS Lsps. We do have bypass Lsps, we do have detour Lsps, and then we do have LSP selection, but inter-AS is not called out specifically anywhere in this section, so hopefully that's not something I need to spend a lot of time on. Okay, so now I thought, oh yeah, I did rename this one. So this one's going to be router 4. Let's just change the symbols first before doing anything else. Oops, and it looks like I did something that I did not intend to do. Oh, right. Okay, so, but the good news is I accidentally made a typo there, so I can change it here. Okay, and then I can make this lowercase. It doesn't matter, but so R4. Oops, so it looks like for some reason it didn't have any effect. Yeah, when I change it to R4, it just remains as P1, unfortunately. So I guess I don't need to worry too much about changing that on the symbols. I'll just change it on the CLI. Oh, and the other thing I'm noticing is that my cursor is stuck at a move symbol. So that's never happened before. So let's try to open the console here, and hopefully, even though it's stuck as a move symbol and not a pointer, it'll still work. Yep, it's still working. So let's continue on with the same strategy of simplifying things down as far as possible, and then setting up a LSP and practicing administration groups. Oops, and I forgot to change the host name. So I'll go back in and I will do that. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's stuck as a, maybe because of the, yeah, I've never seen that before, but it doesn't seem to be having any adverse effects. Alright, time for what is going to be labeled router 3. Okay, so, yep, time to change the host name. Perfect. Router 3, now it's time for router 4. Oh, and this is the one I already did, so let's take a look at the show run. Hopefully it is, or sorry, the active configuration. And yep, it looks like it's been stripped down to its basics. So we'll move on to what's going to be router 5. Alright, router 6. Oops, so there we go. Oops, so it looks like there's a problem there. Let's just try it again. Okay. Okay, one final router, and this is just the prerequisites for the LSP. LSP is going to require, of course, the physical cabling. It's going to require IP addressing. It's going to require an IGP. It's going to require a signaling protocol. We're going to use RSVP. You could also use LVP. And then it's going to require MPLS. So there's a lot of prerequisites when it comes to a LSP. Now if you're using RSVP, there's an additional prerequisite, and that is you've actually got to manually create the LSP. If you're using LDP, it'll automatically create them. Okay, so everything is good to go as far as the IP addressing is concerned, but we're going to need an IGP in order to fill up the routing tables. As you can see, pretty empty routing table. All we've got is our direct and local routes. So next step is going to be configuring an IGP. I think I'm going to go with OSPF. It's a little bit faster to configure. And really, we're going to be learning about admin groups for LSPs, and not necessarily anything else. So I'm going to keep it as easy on myself as possible. Now we will need to enable traffic engineering, but let's start with a more basic configuration of OSPF and see where it breaks down if we don't have that enabled. And one thing I did forget to do is check that I uploaded the last video. I'm going to do that quick just because you never know, and I'm kind of out of the habit of I kind of haven't established a really good habit to do that. So, oh, and I'm up to 41 subscribers. Thank you very much. More than I had thought. So let's do, yep, let's go to my channel. Let's look at the, yep, so administrative groups 1. This video is administrative groups 2, so I did upload the last video. So let's keep going. We're going to go to router 2, and we're going to configure OSPF. And I'm going to make it super easy on myself by having all of the commands I need ready to go. Alright, so now it's just a matter of applying the same config to all of the routers. Okay, so hopefully we'll see more routes being populated now. So we'll do a show route. Yep, and now we've got all of the OSPF routes. So in addition, but we don't have, it looks like we're missing a few of them. Yeah, we don't have .7. Maybe it just takes a little longer. Now I wonder if it's having the same blinking problem that it had before. Let's find out. Yep, it's having the same blinking problem. Yeah, that is really, really weird. I mean, everything's in area 0. We blanked out the config. These reboot every day at 11:45 a.m. So it's like there's literally nothing. There's not even any config on there that, like, the config is really stripped down. Like there's really nothing on there that that would cause this issue. And the really weird thing is if I do a monitor start, it aligns with the blinking. I get messages that show up along with the blinking. But the messages say that there's a stub route, or there's a stub area. You can't have a stub area in area 0. So, really, really confusing. I'm surprised I don't see this anymore. Let's take a look at the at this. But I think what I'm gonna do. So let's do a show configuration, pipe display set, pipe no more. So yep, everything looks fine on LO0. Before I try anything else, let's try just shutting it down and make sure that it consistently leaves the table over here. Okay, and this doesn't have any outputs, so I think it's going to be fine to just leave that running. So let's see it drop out of the table. Okay, so it dropped out of the table, and I'm surprised that there's no corresponding trace options message, but we can see, sure enough, the blinking problem still persists. So let's shut down the interface and make sure that it drops out of the table and then never comes back. Okay, so yep, there we go, it dropped out of the table. So I think if we get a full page of these, so now it popped back into the table. Okay, it dropped out of the table again. So maybe it just hadn't updated things yet. Okay, so yep, this is more behavior that I would expect. It is dropped out of the table and it is just not showing up anymore, and that is because we've got the interface disabled. So let's try bringing that interface back up. We're going to do a rollback 1, but before I commit, I will bring up Wireshark and we'll see if anything interesting comes up. But yep, this is normal expected behavior. The abnormal behavior only occurs when the interface is up. So this is going to be the interesting link for Wireshark. Oops, and it looks like there's some issue where I cannot start the Wireshark Capture. Yep, and now it says it's already started, so easy solution to that. Just close the client and reopen it. And I can even leave the console window open. Okay, so I'm really interested in seeing that Wireshark Capture. As I've mentioned many times before, I'm really better off using monitor traffic instead of Wireshark, but Wireshark is just so nice and easy. I'm just going to use that. Okay, so now we've got Ospf messages. That's going to be normal. We're still going to have those. We just have one interface within Ospf shutdown. We don't have the whole Ospf protocol shutdown, so it's going to be exchanging information still. But we should see some new and interesting things happen here when I hit commit. Okay. So it looks like everything so far is pretty much similar. It looks like these packets 45 through 60 should be interesting. We did get a string of updates. So I think this is going to be enough to look at. I'll stop the capture. Oops, and I stopped it in the Wireshark. I didn't stop it here, so we might have problems, but usually just reopening the client solves them. So this is going to be around packet 45. We've got a series of updates here. Let's look into those. So we've got a type 1 LSA. Okay. And this came from router 6. We should get a type 1 LSA from router 7 as well. Yep, and here it is. So this should include all of the links. And we can see it doesn't include the loopback interface. So here's another one from router 7. This one doesn't include the loopback interface either. So I think that's what's going to be interesting, is a type 1 LSA that includes the loopback interface from router 7. So we got one right here. Perfect. And yep, we can see the problem here, just as it said in our trace options file. This has the wrong type. It's type stub. So I think I know of a way to fix this. So let's try that. We're going to go on device 7. We're going to do a show config pipe display set pipe no more. We're going to look at our configuration for loopback 0 right here, and our configuration for MPLS. So let's do configure private, and we'll do edit protocols OSPF, and we'll say interface or set interface LO 0.0 passive. Now hopefully by doing that, it will change it so that it's no longer type stub. It's going to be type transit. Okay, so let's try that. Oops, so things aren't working as planned. So we're gonna reopen the client. Oops, and I stopped the capture by accident. Let's see if I can restart it. I can, perfect. And Wireshark starts up automatically, excellent. Hopefully it doesn't ask me for an update because I do not want to do it, because that means updating everything else. And it means potentially wiping out my server by accident like I did last time. Okay, so we're looking for a type 1 LSA, we got it. And we're looking for a type 1 LSA from router 7. So, not sure if we got that. It looks like we got it from router 5, but I'm surprised that we've got 7 in there. And the other thing, it looks like 7's still a stub, which isn't gonna work. Let's see what the loopback interface is here. Oh, this is a stub too. So I think as long as it's a /32, it's going to be a stub. But clearly there are issues with it being a stub. So let's see if we still got the blinking problem now that I added the passive keyword. So right now it's not in the table, so if it blinks back into a distance as it did just now, we know we still got that issue. Okay, so from before, this trace option said that the issue was because it was a stub route. And I'm pretty sure it's automatically going to be a stub if it's /32. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. So I think what I'm going to do, especially now that it's the second half of the video and I'm running out of time, is take the easy way out and just delete these 2 routers. These are the ones having issues. Goodbye. And we're only going to focus on these 5 routers here. So let's open up the CLI to the first one and make sure we've got all of the routes and we're not having similar blinking issues. So, yep, we've got 4 routers. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've actually got 5 routers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we've only got 4. We've only got 4 IP addresses. So one thing I'm kind of curious about is when I deleted the traffic engineering statement, all that sort of thing, are there still things lingering? Like did it not actually delete Okay, but in any case, let's take a look at the OSPF neighborship. I mean, just by so here's the problem. It's not forming a neighborship. That's why it's missing. Now that wouldn't have been the problem before with the blinking issue. And we can see why that's a problem because this is disabled. But it's definitely going to be a problem in this case. But the blinking issue wouldn't have been resolved if I had brought this interface up. Okay, but this is yeah, so this is enough to just use these 5 routers now. Oops, still don't have that 5 though. Ah, now we've got it. Just took a little bit. And we've got a extra path so we can play around with having the LSP take the path we desire it to take. Alright, so next up is going to be, now that we've got the IGP, next up is going to be RSVP. Oh, and I might need to take a quick break, but hopefully it will be quick. Okay, so on this last router, I'll check the RSVP neighbors. And if it's good, I'll just assume it's good on all of them. I'm not going to go back and check everything in the interest of time. Oh, but it looks like it's not good, which is interesting. Because we do have OSPF. We have an OSPF. Oh, you know what? I bet you I shut down the other side as well. Wait, why did .5 go into the table? I think I just misread it. I think I saw this route, or I saw this route and I misread it, and I thought it was one of these. I think that's what happened. Okay. So I think it's likewise shut down on this side as well. Okay, so obviously that is not the case. So I'm not sure what the issue is, why it can't form a OSPF neighborship. Oh, right. So it can to those, but it can't form a OSPF neighborship to the other side. It can only form it to these left-hand side routers, but not to this right-hand side one. Oh. That could be a problem. The router ID on this one is listed incorrectly. This needs to be a router ID of .4 instead of .5. Let's see if that makes a difference. Now that wouldn't have changed the blinking issue. Oh, 266, I'm not sure where that came from. But it definitely will prevent a OSPF adjacency. Perfect. Now we've got the neighbor. Since we've got a valid ID different from our own, we are in xtart. So let's see if we can get to full. Yep, we're in full. So let's go back to the first router and make sure that the actual .5 route that I want is the one in there instead of the .5 route for the links or the .5 route used for multicast OSPF messages. And sure enough, we see it right here. So we're good to go. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. All right, so we're back. Yep, so the next step after RSVP is going to be MPLS. So let's move on to that next step. And I don't think there'll be anything immediate that shows up from that, but we can definitely take a look. Okay, so we've got a good look at that. So the next step, we've got that configured. So the next step is to take a good look at it. So let's do a show route MPLS.0. Oh, let's do a show route table MPLS.0. Yep. So now we've got our MPLS.0 table filled. So let's do show MPLS. LSP, we shouldn't have anything yet because we didn't create one. But let's do show MPLS CSPF. Let's see if the CSPF calculation has been made. Yep, so that has happened. And it's going to be based on the OSPF calculation. Alright, so next let's set up the LSP. And my prediction is that the LSP is going to fail setting up because we don't have traffic engineering enabled, but we'll see if that is true. Okay, so that was the final step. Hopefully we'll have a full functioning LSP. If not, it's likely because I didn't enable traffic engineering. And actually I'm hoping that we won't have it working yet, otherwise my understanding of this is going to need some changing. Yep, so it's down. So next step, make sure that it, next step is to enable traffic engineering on all of the routers. We're going to need to do it to all of them. So it'll be set protocols OSPF traffic engineering. Okay, so with any luck, that LSP is going to be up now. Now it might need some sort of changes, like refreshing the SPF calculation, that sort of thing. Aha, but yeah, that's what I thought, that would happen automatically. We see that it was down initially, but then it changed to up, so I can do a show MPLS LSP detail and see exactly what happened. So, yep, it was still doing its inner workings. Yep, it's now up, so perfect. So let's try to learn about admin groups now. And we've got about 8 minutes left, so this is going to be a perfect amount of time. So we'll do Juniper admin groups. Yep. Now, is there an S or is there no S? Let's do this. Juniper groups. Okay. Here we go. So configuring administrative groups for LSPs. So we already did that sort of reading. So let's create a admin group. It's going to be under Edit Protocols MPLS. Admin groups. Group name. Set group name. So my admin group. We'll go into edit mode. Set. Okay, so now we've got a group bit position. Oh, I see. So yeah, this isn't going to be my admin group. This is going to be so my admin group. Instead of using that name, they use names gold, silver, and copper. So one thing we could do is set highest, and then it's going to be 1, and then, but of course those aren't great names because the highest priority for it is going to get a lower number. So those are not great names. So it's better to use something like gold, silver, and copper that have kind of assumed, although idiomatic, values to them, where gold is more valuable than silver and silver is more valuable than copper. But let's just use what they've got listed there. So I'm going to do a delete and a show pipe display set relative. So we got a blank slate now, so let's just enter in what they got. Perfect. So we'll do a yeah, so now we'll assign to our LSP one of those bit values. So we're going to do, oops, okay, so here's what we can do. So let's do show MPLS LSP. So run show MPLS LSP detail. Okay, so now we can see it's going to go to 10.0.1.2. So it's going to go through this interface here. So let's assign this one silver, and let's assign this one gold, and let's see if it switches over to use the gold. Okay, so I'm going to do edit interface 00. This is going to be silver. Edit unit 0 set Okay, I thought. Oh, and okay. Okay. Well, I thought you did it under the interface because it says here. Oh. So you do. Okay. No, I understand. You do it under the interface within MPLS. Okay, so this is going to be silver. Perfect. And that's the one it's currently using. So the next one is going to be gold, and we're going to see if it switches over and starts to use that other interface. Okay, so I'll pull up a Wireshark Capture on that link. So we're going to do stop without saving. We're going to open up the client, and we're going to sniff this link here, and we should see plenty of LSP traffic. So we got RSVP traffic. Let's do a run ping 10.255.0.5. We should. Okay, we've got ICMP. Okay, so we've got, when I do that, we do have ICMP traffic over this way. Once I commit these changes, we won't see ICMP traffic anymore because it will choose that other route. So let's continue with that. Hopefully finish that up within the next few minutes so I can get to my meeting at 1 and get this whole topic finished before then. That would be absolutely amazing. Okay, so there's one final step, and that is to relative. Shoot, display set relative. Come on, I need to go fast. There we go. So that is to basically tell the LSP which admin group we want to be it to use. So let's do okay, let's exclude that silver one, and then let's see if we can still. So we're going to do edit label switch path. Okay, and then we're going to do set admin group exclude. Okay, so it can no longer use the silver path. It can only use the gold, hopefully, or that's the one it will automatically use. So commit that, and then we'll ping that same address. And now hopefully we'll see that oh God, what the hell? Oh, you know what? It's probably got to recalculate. Okay, we got to exclude silver, but yeah, it didn't recalculate. So let me try pinging it one more time. Maybe it has recalculated. Okay, it looks like it didn't recalculate. So I'm going to do clear MPLS, LSP, all, and then let's see if it's up. So right now it's down. So we're going to need to. Okay, now it's up. So nope, we still got ICMP traffic going over this link. Okay, well, you know what? I gotta bite the bullet and do one more video on this topic before moving on. So stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching.